meet people on the same level of psychological wound as you.
Oh, man.
You also leave people where if you evolve out of that and they haven't been able to.
Wow. So you think we attract people based on our psychological wounds?
100%.
Wow. And as we start to heal and grow, if the other person's not healing and growing, we kind of pull away.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This lifetime that we're experiencing right now will be studied in the future.
Frequency alert, frequency alert. I recommend y'all get in the clouds right now. Right now. Don't wait. I'm telling you. Get to the clouds right now. Like, feel the clouds. Get in the clouds right now. I'm telling you. Recommend it.
Because this is the lifetime where we are literally splitting, right? There's the old earth and there's the new earth. And people who are on their way to the new earth are people who are truly awakening, who are really seeing that they've been their shadow selves their entire lives, and all of the things that they need to heal, they need to unblock to become who they truly are. And what we all truly are divine being, creator beings of light. We have powers that are beyond human comprehension, and we've lived in a world that has enslaved us, that has kept us dumb, numb, weak, powerless, all of these things. And many of us are here to awaken, to help humanity shift out from hell within and outwardly into heaven, and creating a world where it is safe, creating a world where there is oneness with all, where unconditional love and harmony, and there is no more darkness and there is no more evilness, right? And I just had this experience where I was invited to go on this podcast, and this podcast is very much rooted in the old world, and I'm being interviewed by this person, and as they're interviewing me and they're asking me all these questions, the answers that are coming out of my mouth are very deep, right? And I can tell that it's hitting her, but it's still this very much like, I don't want to go there kind of energy, which is fine, right? It's fine. But it is a fascinating experience. And I'm sure so many of you can relate to this, to live amongst people that we've been around for so long, to see yourself shifting out of the old earth and shifting out of relationships and friendships that are not going where you're going. And nothing is bad or good unless, or it is what it is. It's just what it is. And I'm experiencing that so much in my life right now, where every friendship, every relationship that I've ever known that is not going where I'm going is starting to fall off, is starting to go away. And there's so much grief that I'm processing, but it's also a fucking bug out to live and experience what so many of us are experiencing. Because as we awaken, right, to ourselves, you awaken to everything that has been an illusion in this world. That's a bug out. That's insane. That's crazy. And here we are just moving through the day to day as we're experiencing the crazy that a human can experience. I mean, you are evolving in your level of consciousness. Do you understand that? You are moving out of a very low, dense dimension where there's misogyny and it's ruled by patriarchy, where there's racism, where there's separation, where there's murder and there's rape, and there's all of this that has literally kept us so low for so long. And now many of us are choosing to heal all the things that we have contributed, right? Because we are one. So all you are is energy. So whatever you are emanating out of you is what is contributing to the world. And then people wonder why this world is so fucked up as it is. It's because we all have so much darkness and low frequencies and fear and all of this shit that we have given power to for so long. And now the journey is, let's start to transform that. And as we transform them, we become what we all are, which is our divine beings of light. We are God incarnated in every single one of us. And so many of us came here to go on the journey of unblocking, unraveling, healing everything we are not to become all that we are. And that is magic. And it is an intense journey in a very challenging, unawakened world. You are awakening. And that is nuts. And I want to tell you right now from the bottom of my soul, for those of you who are doing the work, for those of you who want this place to be better for the animals, for our children, for nature, for every single being, no matter how fucked up they are, I tip my hat to you, because what we're doing is not only shifting humanity from this to that, but we are creating and assisting Mother Earth to come back to what we all are. And what we all are is unconditional love. What we all are is divine power. What we all are is divinity itself. And that is fucking magical. And I know that it's hard, and I know that it's challenging, and I know there is so much grief and there's so much loss. But as you honor everything that comes up for you, what you will gain and what you are doing for every single breathing, living being on this planet is far greater than you can ever wrap your head around. I love you. Keep going. We fucking got this.
I want you to know right now that the shift in consciousness that you're going through when you're paying attention to things that you never paid attention to before, it's because your mind is expanding. This planet is expanding. The universe is expanding. Like, every ideology and the ways of thinking is expanding and it's changing. And you have to embrace your change, embrace who you're growing into, and not be stagnant to it, because we're always evolving. And for the people who are actually like doing the work and focusing on their healing and just trying to get understanding of what they're going through instead of just ignoring it and staying into the old habits, definitely tipping my hat to you. I wanted to make this video because I noticed that I'm going through changes as well, just like with what I pay attention to, what I'm looking at, what type of videos that I watch, like what books that I'm reading right now. Like, I'm all into the mind right now because the mind is helping us stay rooted in reality right now. Oh yeah, I wanted to say welcome forward to another video. I'm so glad that you clicked on this, because now we can just really go into diving deeper into the mind and consciousness and us as a collective and what we can do for ourselves, for the planet, and just changing. So the topic of this video is basically called shifting realities and the changes that we're going through. Like, these are not just like normal changes, like your whole, the way you are, how you think, how you're moving forward, what you're interested in, like it's totally changed and things are different now. And I kind of want to give like a breakdown of explaining how that works. So I found a good video that helps.
Have to stick around for its entirety, because understanding this will make you a very powerful person. I've been thinking about quantum jumping a lot, which is basically being able to change your reality by jumping from one to the next. One of my followers asked to talk about it, and so that was my sign to talk about it. Okay, so the truth is we live in a parallel universe, which basically means that there's multiple different versions of the world, but we only see one at a time. This has been shown time and time again by scientists through experiments such as Schrodinger's cat. Parallel universe is just a fancy way to say a world that coexists with our world, but is very different from it. For my religious folk that aren't too shabby with science, religion talks about this too. The variation of Earth from a religious sense would be heaven or hell, or the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm doesn't only exist when we pass away. It exists all the time right now. It is parallel to us. It is current, simultaneous, and always accessible through practices such as meditation and prayer. So why is this important? Why does knowing about parallel universes matter? And what does it have to do with manifestation? Let me tell you why. The thing about having parallel universes means that if there's a parallel universe, there are parallel versions of you as well. Yes, you are operating in this realm, but also operating in other realms simultaneously. I'm literally getting chills. There are different levels of you operating at higher levels of consciousness, while others are operating at lower levels of consciousness, but they are all accessible. This is where quantum jumping comes in. Quantum jumping is pretty much changing your reality by jumping parallels or levels of consciousness. Basically, there's a better version of you, but there's also a lesser version of you. And with every decision that you make, you become more like one or the other. You know when you have a goal or a dream that's always on your mind, you feel so close to it, it feels like it could be yours. It's almost like a dream that feels like you have, feels like you can have it, but then you look around and you don't. You feel so tied to it because that is something that you do have in another parallel. You can feel yourself with it because you already have it. It is in fact already yours, and the Bible talks about this as well. We think it's something that we're dreaming of in the future. We think it's something that we see in the future, but in reality, we're not seeing it in the future. We're experiencing it in a parallel universe. This is what they mean when they say the past, present, and future are actually happening at the same time. They're not far and near, they're actually parallel, all happening at the same time. And the goal is to jump from one plate, one version to another by increasing consciousness. So how do we jump? Luckily for us, there are so many ways. If we are trying to get things that our higher self has, we will just have to do higher things. This is where spirituality and science once again come together. This is why we pray. This is why we talk to Jesus, God, spirit guides, angels, loved ones, whatever. Our higher selves has those things that we dream of. So if we tap into a higher realm, we could get the information needed to receive those things. It's almost like a telephone, right? Like, hi guys, can you tell me what the fuck to do? Can you show me what my higher self is doing so I can do that too? And of course, this is an analogy shifted to make it fit. Prayers like, God, show me the way. Help me to obtain things that I know are for me. Religiously, it's socially acceptable to leave those things at prayer, right? But these are all ways of manifestation. This is just one way to quantum jump. We could jump by the words we say, the things we do, meditation, focus and intention. Every decision, every action is a jump. I'm going to say that again. Every decision, every action is a jump. Either up or down. You're either splitting into the higher version of yourself or the lower version. But the reality or the universe you get to experience is ultimately up to you and the decisions you make.
So shifting is a choice, and we also can do it subconsciously, and we will have these times where we will start to change mentally and we don't understand where it's coming from or why you're not agreeing with certain things or why you can't hang around the same people that you hang around. Like, it's a different version of you that is you're integrating with, and obviously your higher self feels that you're ready to shift into this newer version of you. There's nothing new under the sun, and everything that you experience is something that you tap into, that you consciously make a decision to be. For example, I started watching videos that were about mental health and self-improvement, and I started to like go down and just continue to watch videos like that and be so attentive to that, and I couldn't understand why. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've shifted into a different version of me that is working towards that. So when you notice yourself changing on a mental level, you can sense the shift that is happening for you. Another one, my entire life, I've never liked pickles, but all of a sudden this month I started liking pickles, and I put them on sandwiches. I'm like eating it with burritos. Like, I don't get why pickles are like what I like now, but it's a different me. So this shift can also happen in a negative aspect, but it's also cleaning out the dirt or the gunk or the energy that you know that no longer serves you. When you say, oh, release energy that no longer serves me, and then when it happens, you trying to figure out why you're emotional or why all of these wounds are coming up and why some bad things or why you're having emotional flurs where you're just angry or you're sad and you're feeling this heightened sense of energy that you don't really enjoy. But that's because your higher self is like, okay, you're ready to get into this other version of you that is on a higher level, and you got to work through all of this extra stuff that you haven't worked through to get to that. So when you notice changes in your emotions or traumas are coming up, that's how you know that you're shifting. That's how you know that you're changing. You're basically trying to harmonize with this new version of you that you shifted in consciously or subconsciously. So just knowing that a huge experience that might cause a financial change or emotional change or a mental change in you that is not such a good experience will either make you into that person that you have always desired, or it will break you into not shifting or merging or harmonizing with the version that you have been asking for. You say you want to leave this realm. You say you don't want to experience the matrix anymore. You want to be in a healthier state. You want to experience heaven. Heaven is your state of mind. Wherever you are, where are you on this planet? Are you in the heavenly realms of this planet? Are you in the matrix realm? Are you in the hellish realm? Where are you? So now that we got our head wrapped around shifting, I want to talk about people who are shifting out of the matrix and healing from that matrix ideology. And sometimes those that the frequency or the thought form comes and wires in through your brain, but you have to just let it flow out. Do not let it exist or take home into your energy. Just keep moving forward. So let me just play this real quick for you.
I was born and raised in the third dimension, like all of you guys were, right? We are born into a world that is so unconscious. Our level of consciousness is so goddamn low. And we are raised in a world where we are ruled by evil forces, where we are controlled, programmed, conditioned, brainwashed. Everything that we consume, the way that we're raised, what we see, what we read, everything in our school system, everything is broken and everything is corrupt and everything is including all of the water that we drink and the food that we consume. Dude, I've been having these moments as I literally leave the old earth, right? And as I do the inner work and I work on myself to raise my level of consciousness to go to build a new earth, I look back and I view the old earth now literally through social media. And I see that old world and I am in awe of how unconscious people are to what we've been raised in. We literally have lived in a world and in a society filled with everything that is dark and hellish. Racism, pedophilia, rape, separation, war, genocide, abuse of all kinds, abusing animals, like abusing nature, treating everyone like shit, blaming, projecting, misogyny, the patriarchal society that we've been raised in, the oppression. Like, do you understand all of this shit was designed so that you never become who the you really are? Do you understand that everything is designed so that you stay so powerless and weak and brainwashed and in separation so that you never go on the path of discovering what we all are under all of this shit and under all of our shit? And as many of us leave the old earth and start becoming the new earth, which is a becoming. It's not just, I choose the new earth. No, you got to do the work to raise your level of consciousness, to raise your frequency, to become a being of oneness, which is harmony and unconditional love and harmlessness and gentleness and all of the things that we've never fucking been before. I have these moments where when I'm watching social media and I'm seeing people of the old earth, and this is no judgment, I was raised in that. I just chose not to be a part of that stuff anymore and to do the work that has caused that world to exist. And now as I awaken, I see through the illusions of everything and I start healing all of my shit. I'm like, I cannot fucking believe that we have said yes over and people still say yes over and over again to that old world that is literally hell. And not to mention all of the things that are shoved down our throats, all the distractions, all the circuses that we play into, that we fight each other over. Like, all we do is fight and hate each other. Do you understand that? Like, do you understand that? And we play into that. That's a part, it's all designed. It's all designed that way. It's all designed for us to constantly stay separated and to never go within and never connect who we really are underneath all this. And that's why I choose to do the inner work every single day. That's why I keep choosing to elevate my level of consciousness, to go within, to start healing and transforming everything that has contributed to that. Because the more of us that go within, the more of us that do the inner work, the more of us that rise, that what once existed cannot exist because we are creator beings. So we create our realities. You don't just create it through the mind, your mind. You create your reality. You create the world that you want to see by going in and healing and transforming everything that you are intrinsically not. And that requires you to fucking do the real work. So as I leave the old earth and as I become a being who is creating and assisting with many others, the new earth, a place of harmony, a place of unconditional love, a place of oneness with all, I look back in that and go, never fucking again will I ever create anything that contributes to that shithole of a piece of shit place where we're all fucking gone. It is time for you to do the real work. It is time for you to awaken for real. It is time for you to become a being of oneness. The world needs you. Mother Nature needs you. The animals need you. The children need you. We all need you to do the work, because the more of us that do the work, the more light comes onto this earth and the more we can get out of fucking hellhole, shithole, hole to create literal heaven and unconditional love and harmony and everything that is beautiful. It is work. And this is your calling to go and do it.
So everybody talks about leaving the matrix and leaving the old world, but talking about the psychological, emotional, and mental loops that you go through with that healing process of not staying in that layer of density in existence. And sometimes you get triggered by it when you're looking at social media and you're looking around and looking at people. That's the reason why all of these cases are coming out, and everybody's looking at old videos of celebrities and what they said and how they used to talk, and certain things that and reality shows that happened that didn't make sense, but people were so in tune with it at that time when it was released. You see what I'm talking about? How the layers of consciousness is changing and the shift is happening, and it's such an amazing time to be alive. And people feel like, oh, this is the worst time to exist, and this is a lot of stuff going on, and like, no, no. Life is happening and you're here right now, and your higher self, your soul, your connection to source obviously thought it was important to be here. So let's just make the most of where we are right now and continue to evolve. If you want to help this planet, help yourself evolve. Help the people around you evolve if they ask, if they want to. I've noticed I've had this same outlook on life ever since when I started. I've had this same outlook on life, even when I started elementary school, and just going into the school system and paying attention to the children and the things that I was being taught, and just evolving and growing and seeing how people are mentally, emotionally, and the lack of spirit that they have, or the lack of spiritual energy that they have. It was really weird. I felt isolated. I felt different. I didn't really talk. I was very shy because my observations of how humans were didn't make sense to me on why they talk a certain way, why they talk like this, what happened, like why is history like this, what is the point of all this. Like I couldn't understand why I was thinking differently, but I understand now. It's because you are different, you are changing, you are evolving. Sometimes you come to different places around the universe and experience different thought forms, different humans, different beings. You have to accept that. And some people be like, oh, I want to go home, I don't want to be on this planet, take me off of this planet, aliens come get me. Like, you're here for a reason, and it's important to accept that and take that in and be grateful for where you are, because this is also helping you evolve. If you don't even feel like you need to help you need to evolve, think about the evolution that you contribute to while being on this planet. So if you made it to the end, I'm so grateful that you clicked on this video. I love you so much, and I'm so happy that we are just jumping into this different form of consciousness. I know that a lot of people are still in different areas, and I'm evolving, and I wanted to make this video to show where my mind is right now. And yeah, and anytime when I go through these shifts, I always think like, okay, nobody's going to understand where I'm coming from or how I'm thinking about how nobody's going to understand where my mind is. Nobody's going to understand where, like, I just kept limiting myself. So anytime when I do that, I always just make a video to reassure myself that I'm not alone in my evolution. I'm not alone in how I'm evolving, and how my thought forms are coming, and my downloads that I'm receiving that I resonate with. So for the ones that clicked on it, I just want to say thank you to let me know that I am not alone. And I love y'all. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Let's just continue to keep evolving and enjoying our experience while we're here.